All right, Marty Faro is going to start things off the way that Republicans normally do it by singing our national anthem. She's never actually sung into a megaphone before, so you guys have to cut her a break, all right? Marty Faro, give her a round of applause, everybody.
Wow, it's first. Get an honor. Well, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran glad, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
I don't think anybody has ever sang it that way into a megaphone before. Congratulations, Mike. That was incredible. Well, this sure is one heck of a crowd for this incredibly horrible weather. We're going to change things up a little bit, though. We have our minority leader, John DeMaio, here, Senator Singer and Senator Testa, who have some meetings that they have to get to, and Leader Phillips, our conference leader. We're going to let them start things off before we get into the full program, okay? We're going to start right now with Minority Leader John DeMaio from the Republican Senate.
Thank you, Assemblyman, and thank you for your time and effort in putting this together today so we can bring attention to these important issues. Democrats' immigration policies are soft on crime, hard on taxpayers, and dismissive of the real impacts that illegal immigration has on the people of New Jersey and the entire nation. Your hard-earned dollars are going towards people who avoid the immigration system, people who commit identity theft and fraud, harming American people for their own benefit. There was a time when right and wrong was universally understood. New Jersey has a proud history of legal immigration and diversity. Who isn't proud of their ancestry? This is not about discrimination, it's about simple right and wrong. And who can afford it? Not taxpayers, not the middle class that keeps getting squeezed by the Democrats with high taxes that pay for programs that the middle class doesn't qualify for. The reality is we are a wealthy nation, but the nation is $38 trillion in debt. We simply cannot afford this. There's a process that people should follow to gain entry legally, pay taxes, and become good citizens. With ongoing budget pressures, it's reasonable to ask whether expanding taxpayer-funded benefits in this area is sustainable while other programs face cuts. The core issue here is ensuring families fairness, upholding the rule of law, and prioritizing resources for citizens and legal residents. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes.
All right, everybody, we have Senator Singer coming up next.
so much. And the Assemblyman, thank you for putting this together. You know, he's from my home county of Ocean and Monmouth. We're very proud of him. Let me just share two brief thoughts with you, and thanks for coming out in this kind of weather. I realize I'm a little bit of a Renaissance man. I wear raincoats. The first is we have to thank the men and women of ICE for the job they do to protect us every day. And let me just share one personal thought of this. A number of years ago, my oldest daughter was working in Israel, and she went from one side of Jerusalem to the other to meet a friend for dinner on a bus. They stopped at the marketplace, and it was crowded, and she sat down and moved over to the seat by the window as the bus filled up. She reached down to put her phone away as a suicide bomber set the bomb off, killing 17 people, blowing up the bus, catching on fire, and injuring hundreds of other people. The suicide bomber was from Hamas. His family is proud. He was 19 years old and killed 17 people. Men, women, children, going home after a long day. ICE protects us from these people that have come into this country. And if anybody doesn't think so, you don't want to go what my family went through. Thank God my daughter survived, but we live with that horror every day she does. I am telling you, striking out against those people that protect us is 100% wrong and is not American. We are here to protect those people, to see that they are protected themselves. These bills hurt them. And when you hurt the people who protect us, you are hurt all of us.
Yes.
Thank you. God bless.
Yes.
Thank you, Senator Singer. All right, next we have our Republican Assembly Conference Leader, Testa Phillips.
Okay, I can use one of these at home. Any extras hanging around? First of all, a big round of applause for Assemblyman Kanitra putting this rally together. So I have 3 questions for all of you. This is a simple quiz. The answers are an easy yes to each of the questions. First question, does everyone here believe we are a nation of laws? Yes. Does everyone here believe in legal immigration?
Yes.
Does everyone here believe we should stand with law enforcement to enforce our laws?
Yes.
See, I told you, it's very simple. Everyone gets an A+, 100%. So we're all in agreement. All I say to all of you is keep fighting the good fight. Keep working with Assemblyman Kanitra and our Republican leadership in both the Assembly and the Senate. We are here to be your voice. We're here to represent you, and we will continue to do so. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. All right, many of you guys know the next guy that's coming up, a good friend of mine, Senator Mike Testa.
Yay, Michael!
Let's give Assemblyman Kanitra a big round of applause for setting this up and all of the people that are involved. I've said this since December of 2019. When people show up, real change can happen. This is what happens when you have a megaphone instead of a microphone. But look, we're making do with what we can. But under 8 years of Governor Murphy, we were told that New Jersey was going to be stronger and fairer. None of us felt stronger and fairer. We got weaker and poorer, didn't we?
Yes.
And if these 3 bills are signed into law, we will be weaker, poorer, and less safe. Make no mistake about it. And you think about these things, myself, Assemblyman Eric Simonson, Assemblyman Antoine McClellan, my running mates, we ran on anti-sanctuary state policies back in 2019. Now all we get to tell you is we told you so. And so many members of the Republican leadership in both the Assembly and the Senate have been fighting against this insanity for the entire 6+ years I've been in the legislature. This has to come to an end. And unfortunately, it looks like this is just the beginning. You know, one of the key issues for the people that protected us, our police and firemen, you may have seen this all over social media, is cost of living adjustments, otherwise known as COLA. Think of the billions of dollars we spend in schooling, police, fire, our healthcare healthcare system, on illegal aliens. That money would be better spent taking care of those who protected and served each and every one of us to keep us safe, our police and our fire, and giving them the cost of living adjustment that they deserve. So look, this is what a republic looks like. When people show up and they demand of their government, they make a demand of their legislators to make sure that we are going to keep up the good fight against this insanity. Make no mistake, this is insanity. As Assemblyman Phillips said, we believe in the rule of law. Obviously, the other side does not.
That's right.
They don't believe in this basic thing that makes up the very fabric of the United States of America, that we all believe in the rule of law. And instead of taking care of the hardworking taxpayers of the state of New Jersey, who are already overburdened with an affordability crisis, they are taking your tax dollars and taking care of individuals who were here illegally. Trust me, folks, we will never, ever stop the fight. And as long as you keep showing up, you will keep holding us accountable. God bless you all. Thank you.
Let's go, Paul.
All right. So look, I'm looking out here. I know most of you guys, first and foremost, as friends. I'm going to talk like this, if you don't mind. Can you all hear me? Yeah! All right. Look, the only rallies that we normally see in Trenton are the ones where every single Democrat was paid to be there and the signs were all mass produced. So give yourselves a round of applause for showing up today. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. We got one hell of a rally planned. This was just the beginning of it. This is going to be a fact-filled day, first and foremost. We have speakers that have flown in from all over the country to be with us. We have NumbersUSA. We have Turning Point USA. We have Moms for Liberty. The list goes on and on. You're going to get facts and figures here today that show how unsustainable and how dangerous illegal immigration is to this state. You're going to hear personal stories of how illegal immigration destroys families. And then you're all going to get a chance to come on in, out of the rain and out of the cold, come into the galley with us and watch how the sausage gets made in Trenton firsthand.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. But first, I think it's important to note where we are right here and why we're here. We're standing on the steps of the New Jersey State House Annex. Capitol Dome is just over there, right behind my shoulder. This building is supposed to belong to each and every one of you. But let me ask you a question. When you see the insane bills they're passing left and right, do you think Democrats give a damn about any of you? No! I can tell you firsthand, they don't. It was only a couple of weeks ago that they turned off my microphone just for asking questions they didn't like the answers to. But they got theirs in the end. Over 1 million people across the country saw the videos of them trying to shut us down, and they weren't happy. I've received over 10,000 messages from people all over America fed up with our liberal state governments putting illegals over legal citizens and legal immigrants. And I can tell you, even though it's raining, even though I counted just earlier, there's about 89 people here, everyone across the country is standing here in spirit with you guys today. Now let me tell you what we're up against today and why you're here. There's 3 insane bills that are about to get rammed through the legislature. Every single one of them is more crazy than the next. The first bill illegally tries to take any masks off of federal law enforcement, even considering that Democrat protesters are actively doxing agents, posting their home addresses online, and trying to ruin theirs and their families' lives. Another bill not only bans the sharing of any kind of important data with the feds, it also lets illegals know if the federal government is investigating them using license plate data. And the third's like the granddaddy of them all. It codifies our sanctuary status for the 900,000 foreign invaders here illegally. It prevents law enforcement at the local, the county, and the state levels from working with ICE at all, and it makes our communities less safe as a result. This state government behind me has a $4 billion budget deficit because of overspending. And rather than cut any of the $7 billion they're giving to illegals in benefits, they decided to axe the Stay NJ program that helps our seniors. They do not care about you.
No, they don't.
Let that sink in. That's not just a cliche comment. They genuinely do not care at all about you. They need these 900,000 illegals here to count in the census. They need them to keep 4 assembly seats that they wouldn't have if they weren't counted, and 2 congressional seats that they wouldn't have if they weren't counted. And they don't care how much it costs each and every one of you to do it. And just so that you know, it's $1,600 for each and every one of you to keep funding this boondoggle. 60 to 70% of illegals here are here on some form of direct public assistance. They use emergency rooms as their primary care facilities, and it causes your health care costs to rise when they don't pay the bill. They overload housing supply in our cities, and it destroys minority communities by driving up their rent costs. Schools buckle under the weight of so many not speaking English, consuming the majority of teachers' time and causing test scores to plummet. Woke prosecutors reduce illegals' criminal convictions so they don't trigger automatic deportations, and it skews our state's crime statistics so New Jersey seems safer than it actually is. And again, Democrats don't care because they desperately need the votes. Like they've done in the inner cities for generations, they use people to stay in power. Is there anything really more racist than a Democrat who says we need illegals because they pick crops and clean houses? That's how they view them. They don't want people to come here legally and go through the process. And here's why. Immigrants from all backgrounds who come here legally, they disproportionately love America more. They become Republicans astronomically higher rates than illegals do. It's because they put in the time, they did things the right way, they earned their citizenship, and they value being here. Meanwhile, illegals are simply here to find what state is giving them the best deal, the most benefits, so they can make money to send back home. It's abhorrent, and it needs to stop.
Yes.
Let me ask you again, do you want to help us stop illegal immigration in this state and this country? Yeah! Look, the reality is we might not win here today when they vote in a couple hours. But the governor still has to sign these bills. When this day is over, I'm going to need each and every one of you to flood her office with calls and emails and letters letting her know that we are not going to take this anymore. That you come first, not illegals. But for now, it's time to rally. It's time to be so loud that she can hear us from her office just a few buildings down from here. We've got one hell of a lineup today. Every single speaker is bringing a unique perspective to the table. And I'm going to ask each and every one of you to pay attention to them out here in the rain and what they have to say and support them as we all fight together. One last time, are we going to take back this state? Yeah! Damn right. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually we are going to wake enough people up to take back New Jersey. So now let's get this rally started with Jeremy Beck, who came here from Washington, D.C., who's with NumbersUSA, who is going to lay out this crazy situation in graphic detail. Jeremy? The microphone's where? Let me pick it up like you. I'll do your best. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Our friends and neighbors may wonder what we're doing here today on this damp and drizzly day. Some of them may be looking at these bills that we're talking about, and they may see them as an opportunity to achieve some kind of better enforcement. And I want them to know that I want better enforcement too. I support better enforcement. But these bills are not about that. We get better enforcement when agencies work together, when they collaborate, when they cooperate, when they talk to each other, when they share information, when they ensure that as much as possible enforcement can take place in a safe and secure setting, like a jail, instead of out in the community after somebody has already been released. We get better enforcement when we use all the tools in the toolbox. That means including and especially tools like E-Verify, because illegal hiring is at the heart of illegal immigration, and we cannot have a credible immigration system if we are not holding employers accountable when they exploit illegal workforce.
That's right. That's right.
Unfortunately, these bills don't address any of that. They do quite the opposite, don't they? Assembly Bill 4071 bans cooperative agreements. Let me say that again, it bans cooperation. A4070 restricts and prohibits information sharing, which, in addition to other things, it makes it really difficult to crack down on people engaged in human trafficking and identity theft when you take away those tools. These bills are not about better enforcement, they're about blocking enforcement. There's a lawmaker here who supports this package, and he posted online that the purpose of these bills is, and I quote, to make it harder for federal enforcement to operate.
Why?
That's the point of these bills.
Sedition.
And there's no daylight between that kind of rhetoric and the policies that created the worst border crisis in American history.
That's right, that's right.
What happens here today may or may not make national news, but the world is watching.
That's right.
The human smuggling organizations are watching. The cartels and the coyotes who profit from this kind of policy, they're watching. And they're polishing up their marketing materials. They're ready to go out to people across the globe and say, give us your money, give us your lives, the lives of your loved ones, and we will get you to New Jersey, where the laws and limits set by the United States Congress have no meaning. They're waiting to see if they're going to be back in business. And we know, we remember right here, we remember what it was like the last time the human smugglers were in business. Overwhelmed communities, overwhelmed physical infrastructure, fiscal infrastructure, billions of dollars in taxpayer costs every year, housing, food services, education, hospitals, and yes, crimes. Most people break immigration laws so they can work here illegally. And when we turn a blind eye to that, we created a pool that more nefarious actors can hide in. And some of those people do go on to commit other crimes, much more heinous crimes with tragic consequences, crimes that should not have happened, that would not have happened if there was credible enforcement in place.
Right.
That, unfortunately, is what these bills will lock in. They will lock in these costs in New Jersey. And they risk extending the damage beyond our own borders. Because during this border crisis that just occurred, as millions of people took up the invitation from policies just like these, we saw a record number of border deaths. And that's not counting the people who perished in dangerous passages on the way to get here, places like the Darien Gap in Panama. 500,000 minors were smuggled to the border, released into the United States, and wound up, we later found out, hundreds of thousands of them ended up not in school, but in jobs, working as child laborers. And the hotline that was created to help them left more than 60,000 calls unanswered. These are not humane or compassionate results. These are the inevitable and recent consequences of blocking enforcement. And that is why we are here this morning. That's why we showed up on this gray spring day. We don't have to repeat these mistakes. We mustn't repeat these mistakes. We are here to say no to these dangerous and misguided bills and to fight for better enforcement that will serve the people of New Jersey, the people of this country, and the world. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Assemblyman Katrina. I'm Jeremy from NumbersUSA. Keep in touch and let's stay in this thing together.
All right, everybody, we're going to move things around a little bit more. Assemblywoman Dawn Fantasia is planning on contesting like 100 bills out there today, and it takes a little bit of prep time beforehand. She is one of the best fighters in the state. Can you guys give
Thank you, everyone, for coming out on this beautiful spring day. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the Immigrant Trust Directive and what the Dem majority is trying to do today. They're trying to take that directive and lock it into statute. Prohibits police I'm asking about immigration status. It restricts cooperation with federal authorities, limits detention. Prosecutors must go to a judge outside the presence of a jury if they believe immigration status affects a flight risk or credibility. Law enforcement must provide written notices when ICE inquires about a detainee. Departments must train staff and publish policies explaining how to comply. Look, we know how this plays out in the real world. We just saw it happen in Teaneck, New Jersey. An 8-year-old little girl was seriously injured, a fractured skull, after being struck in the head by a rock. A criminal migrant threw it with an extensive record, including catch release, catch release, catch release. Not coincidentally, this happened in the town, represented by the main bill sponsor of this bill, District 37, Ellen Park. I have to ask, where is the Assemblywoman's outrage for this 8-year-old girl? Where is the urgency to make sure this never happens again? Because what they are doing is the absolute opposite. We are putting into statute policies that make it harder for law enforcement to coordinate, harder to detain, harder to act when we see the warning signs. And that's why I don't understand it. And from a parent's perspective, I'm a mother with daughters. It's jarring to watch our legislators move from protecting our children to protecting individuals who are here illegally with extensive criminal records. That little girl matters. Her safety matters. The safety of every child in this state matters. You know, in 2019, I was a freeholder in Sussex County, and I wrote an article for the Blue magazine. And in that magazine, I highlighted something they also don't talk about. And what I highlighted is foreign nationals, women and children from other countries, Mexico, Central America, are trafficked here, and they're exploited because of our reckless, no border, no accountability policies. Where is the compassion for those women and those children who are being abused? Allow me to say this. Every person who crosses illegally into the United States does not have nefarious, violent intentions for us. But the other side pretends that nobody that crosses has nefarious, dangerous intentions for us. In my district, we've had this conversation. Sussex County, New Jersey, 2019. We took a vote on the general election ballot that decided whether we would use county resources to help support our sheriff in enforcing immigration law and in cooperating with the federal government enforcing immigration law, and it overwhelmingly passed in Sussex County, and damn it, it's going to happen here too.
Yes,
it's time. This bill has a problem. The bill that we're seeing before us is the same garbage that I testified about last session. And even Governor Phil Murphy wouldn't sign it because he said there were legal problems with it, but hey, here we are again. Talking to a brick wall, hitting our head against the wall, and just begging for the other side to understand that we need reasonable policies that protect our citizens. So on that note, we got a lot of work to do, and I have to run. But I want to thank you all for coming, all the organizers. You have great speakers today. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for listening to Reset. God bless.
All right, we're going to make the men continue to wait for just a minute more. We're going to keep up with some of the female empowerment right here, because I think the female voice in this conversation is an important one. Yeah. So I'm going to introduce Alex Bauer right now from Moms for Liberty. And she's going to talk a little bit about that perspective and two of the most powerful speakers we have here today. Just right now.
Hi guys, you can hear me good, right? That kind of thing, awesome. All right, let's be honest about why we are really here. What is the most important reason? The safety of our children, the safety of our future. That is the most important reason we do anything in this world, is for our children. These bills are going to put the safety of our children at risk. They are putting our law enforcement at risk, who work so hard, who put their lives on the line for us and for our children. We need to have their back. We don't need to tie their hands. We need to work hand in hand with them to ensure the safety of every single person in this state. Now, I have compassion for every child, every single one. I understand that many come over here for a better life, and I really do have compassion for them. But what these bills are doing is not compassion, it is neglect. It is putting everybody at risk, and that is not okay, and we are not going to allow it to happen. So let's be very clear. Number one, we are moms, we are parents, and Moms for Liberty, we do not co-parent with the government. If we see something wrong, we're going to say something. And it is our jobs as American citizens, whether you were born here or you came here the right way, to always say something. You see something, you say something. They are taking things away from our children's schools, from our communities. Our kids can't even learn reading and math and the correct history, okay? Because they are taking resources and putting them other places for other people. Our children have to come first. The people of our state have to come first. The people of the United States have to come first. And it has to be safe.
That's right.
Now, let's talk about human trafficking for a moment. Human trafficking thrives in chaos. When they see what's happening in our state, that it's a sanctuary state, this is where they're going to concentrate on it. Let me tell you a very quick story about a friend who was trafficked 3 times from her high school. 3 times from 3 different kids her own age. Because this is what they do. They get other children, they traffic children, and they get those children to then traffic other children. And they have no idea, these kids have no idea what they're doing. They need help. And we're gonna open our state to that if we don't take it under control. Every parent, every mother, all we wanna do is tuck a child into bed safe at night. That's the world that we grew up in. Our children deserve that world. We're not extremists. We're parents who just want to keep our kids safe. So please, let's all stand together as parents, as people of the state of New Jersey, and let's take our state back. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Okay, our next speaker flew in all the way from California to tell you her story. And I think she's the epitome of everything that we're trying to present today. She's a legal immigrant who came here, went through the process, did things the right way, and unfortunately, her family suffered an unimaginable loss as a result of illegal immigration. If everybody could please give a round of applause to Agnes Gibboney. She's here to take pictures.
Hi everyone, can you all hear me?
Yes.
It is my honor to be here today with you.
Please
fighting
use the
this fight.
megaphone. Please use the megaphone.
Okay.
Let's see if this one works.
You want to try? Sure. Figuring this out on the fly.
There you go. Hello everyone, my name is Angel Mom Agnes Gibboney. I am truly honored to be here today. I am a legal immigrant from Hungary. My family and I followed the immigration laws. We did everything right, but our country failed my family by not securing our borders, which resulted in the murder of my firstborn and only son, Ronald, forever 29. He was shot by a previously deported criminal illegal alien in El Monte, where my husband was the deputy chief of police. I live in California, a sanctuary state. Since January 1st of 2018, when California Values Act, SB 54 as it is known, took effect. The law restricted state and local law enforcement agencies from assisting federal immigration, just like your Assembly Bill A 4071. The lies we were and are being told is that illegal aliens would not report crimes, testify in fear of being deported, many crimes would go unsolved. That is not true. The fact is, any illegal alien who is a victim of significant mental or physical abuse and are helpful to law enforcement in investigation and prosecution of the crime receives a U visa. Or if they were victims of severe human trafficking, including sex or labor trafficking, they can live and work in the U.S. for 4 years with a T visa. Under your proposed bill, A-1743, law enforcement to review facial identity the way things are nowadays because of liberal and Democrats' agenda encouraging obstructions and violence against law enforcement, against ICE, Border Patrol, often from paid protesters and agitators who have their faces covered, is a bill that should never pass for the protection of those protecting us.
That's right.
Bill A-4070, the Privacy Protection Act, prohibits healthcare facilities and government entities from requesting information on immigration status, place of birth, social security, tax ID. Anything and everything is being done to protect and hide illegal aliens in our country, legally under our noses. Sanctuary states protects and invites more illegal aliens. And I say illegal aliens, not immigrants, because immigrants are someone like my family who came through the right channels. Sanctuary states protects and invites more illegal immigration. There will be more illegal searching out states which provides benefits, security, and protections for them. Most illegal aliens have no job skills, often get free food and housing. California became the first to offer comprehensive health coverage for undocumented illegal aliens, which most of them are low income. Please take notice and learn from the mistakes California is suffering from. We are about 18 to 30 billion dollars in debt, solely because liberals, Democrats decided it was a good idea to provide illegal aliens free Medi-Cal or Medicaid, as you may call it. Resources in public schools are going to children who don't speak English, holding back our own children. The result will be catastrophic for New Jersey to become a sanctuary state. Services will be cut to citizens, taxes and fees will go up, then elected officials will think of new ways to impose new taxes and new fees. In short, New Jersey will soon be led in being #1 in homelessness, #1 in poverty, #1 in unemployment, #1 in gas prices and gas taxes, #1 in budget deficits, #1 in retail thefts, and #1 in illegal immigration, just like California is now. Emergency rooms have been severely impacted by the number of illegal aliens seeking non-emergency illnesses, causing the time to wait anywhere from 5 to 7, sometimes 9 hours. We have laws that American citizens have to obey, while lawmakers are encouraging special exemptions through sanctuary to benefit illegal aliens to break. Which laws do we American citizens get to break and be exempt from? Sanctuary should be for citizens of this country, not for invaders. Look at my t-shirt, this beautiful flag.
Beautiful. Yay.
How it sparkles. Let's not allow this sparkle to dull, to darken ever. President Trump said, fight, fight, fight.
Thank you.
I say, resist and fight. Resist and fight. Resist and fight. Please don't give up on your beautiful state. God bless the United States of America. God bless New Jersey. Let's keep the sparkle and our freedom. Thank you so much.
The other side of the equation that often gets looked over, and you guys were all hearing about human trafficking earlier, is almost every illegal immigrant that comes here through an illegal border crossing gets shepherded through the process through cartels. And those cartels commit horrible offenses along the way, and Jeremy talked about that. But one of the things they also do while they're trafficking human beings is they're trafficking drugs. And they bring fentanyl into this country at astronomical rates. We're lucky enough that we've moved the border and shut things down quite a bit under President Trump recently. But we're one Democrat president away from it all opening up again. So here to speak about that side of the equation is Ann Fundner, who is another angel mom who suffered an unimaginable loss herself. Give her, please, a round of applause.
I have a very soft voice, so hopefully everyone can hear me. Okay, can you all hear me now?
Yes.
So I don't have a prepared speech because I just want to speak from my heart. I was living in California. I'm from Homedale, New Jersey, and we moved to California. And I was living in California when I say President Biden took office. I think that's the accurate thing to say, and opened our borders. And I remember seeing the borders, just everybody flooding over the borders, 3,000, 6,000, 10,000, 15,000 people at a time. And it was so overwhelming and just disheartening to see what was happening. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. And then my son Weston, he was a really sweet kid, definitely a curious kid, would love to, push his limits sometimes, but he was a typical teenager. And when he was a freshman in high school, we private schooled him and Christian schooled him his whole life. He wanted to go to public school.
Oh.
And so we agreed second semester freshman year to let him try public school. And he met a group of kids, and overwhelmed by, this humongous high school, new friends, he met a group of kids that he thought were just the ones that were just fun. And in a moment of peer pressure, when he was given the opportunity to try something, even though I had so many conversations with him, he knew that you should never try something that someone other than your doctor or mother give you. He tried something in a moment of peer pressure, and it took his life. And our kids, they can't experiment anymore. They die. This is not the drugs of our day, of our young days when our friends did things and, survived and experimented. You cannot do that. And let me tell you, the next generation of drugs coming behind it is worse and more addictive. Fentanyl is 50 times more addictive than crack. And these drug dealers know it. And so they come over the border with 400,000 pills, and they give them away to your kids for free. Because they know in 2 to 3 hours that they're going to have withdrawal symptoms that are unbelievable, uncomfortable, shakes, fevers, things that your kids won't be able to handle, but they're like sexual predators. And what they do next is they get your kids to try a little bit more to take that edge off because they know they can't tell their parents. And this is the evil coming over open borders. And I sat there with my hands in my face going, what is going on? My son's dead and people are still coming over this border with drugs. And every time they catch someone, they let them back out on the street. It made no sense.
No.
It didn't make any sense. And so we knew that we had to do the only thing left to save our country. And that was electing somebody who was going to secure the borders, criminalize these drug groomers, and do whatever it took to get rid of the fentanyl crisis. And we elected President Trump, and he has done everything to take care of this crisis. And tell you now, ICE, even though every other president, including Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George Bush, they all deported and agreed that we needed to deport criminal, illegal aliens. And they deported them by the millions.
Right.
But for some reason, right now, when President Trump wants to do it, they're fighting back. And they have actually gotten people to believe that it is somehow inhumane. I'll tell you what's inhumane are little kids coming over the border getting raped
Yes.
by traffickers on their way over, being found with 12 different samples in them because they've been raped all along the way. That is inhumane. People dying from the long trek across deserts. That is inhumane. But President Trump has 0 illegal border crossings since last June. Right? So this whole notion that this is somehow inhumane and we need to protect criminals, no we don't, because I'll show you people like my friend Agnes, who I actually knew in California before I lost my son, and she was such an inspiration. And when I lost my son, I remember thinking, she is such a fighter, and that was my inspiration to stand up and do what I do. And my friends, Tammy Noble, my friends Patty Morin, Alexis Nungari, we've all gotten close because of this these horrible tragedies. And, you know, this does not have to happen, and these are criminals. They need to get out of our country, and we need ICE to enforce this. Because my son is dead. Agnes' son is dead. These people are dead, and they're using 2 people that ICE and people who tried to evade ICE and resist arrest and got killed in the middle of it. Those 2 people have been their only examples. Meanwhile, there's 500,000 people dead on American soil because of illegal immigration in the last 4 years under pretense and Biden. And I say that because we all know he wasn't supposed to be president. So what I'm asking New Jersey to do is the right thing and protect your citizens. Deport people who aren't supposed to be here. God bless you all for coming out. You're beautiful, and to come out in this weather and support this fight. This is an important fight. It's for your kids. And believe it or not, any Democrats who are listening, it's for your kids too. Thank you.
That's right.
Okay, we got to get the legislators out of here before our caucus ends, so I'm going to just start bringing them up by just standing over there. My running mate, Assemblyman Greg McGuckin, represent the 10th legislative district.
Thank you very much, Paul, and thank you all for being here. As Assemblyman Kanitra said, we're all going to offer a very different perspective on our current situation here in Trenton tonight. My perspective is one of civics. And we are going to see efforts made here in 2026 to do what the Democratic Party tried to do in 1866. Let me explain. Following the freeing of the slaves by the Republican Party, following the emancipation of the slaves by the Republican Party and Abraham Lincoln, the federal legislature passed various laws to protect the rights of the freed slaves. The Southern Democratic Party did everything in their power to stop those laws from taking effect, to obfuscate, to eliminate, and to stop federal law enforcement from doing the job that the elected people of this country sent them to Washington to do. 160 years later, that's what they are doing in this State House today. They are trying to eliminate federal law. They're trying to ignore federal law. They're trying to overcome federal law. And why? Because they can't win an election.
Right.
If you want to change the law, elect representatives who will change it. They've had every opportunity over the last 30 years, and they didn't do it. Then we elected a president who's actually enforcing the law. And what do? They try to get around it by ridiculous state efforts in state capitals by the Northern Democrats here in 2026. Awful. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to fight the fight today, but it does not end here. It's going to continue. So thank you very much, and thank you for something.
down the line, and I see my good friend Jerry Scharfenberger there. Unfortunately, he doesn't represent any parts of Ocean County, but we're going to give him a big round of applause. One of the real good conservatives.
Thank you, everyone. It's good to see so many familiar faces here, and I want to thank Paul for doing this. Really, to brave this weather.
You need the mic.
Gary, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
How's that? Okay.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah.
Okay, you get the gist of what I said. But this is a day of bad legislation we're facing here. But I want to give you some good news. We have a core of legislators here who really get it. We support law enforcement. We support law and order. We support true affordability, not the expense that comes with running a sanctuary state. That's the problem with all of the problems we're facing now. That declaration of being a sanctuary state has made us a magnet for high-cost, anti-law enforcement, anti-law and order, and we're living with it every day. The good news is we do have this core here. What we need everybody here is to get their friends and neighbors, those apathetic folks who, say, it doesn't matter, my vote. We have to get them out to vote. The reason we're so outnumbered is because too many of us have stayed home.
That's right.
Let's fix that. We have another election coming up in November, and the year after, our legislature is up a year from November. Let's start now and mobilizing and getting the vote out so we can overwhelm the numbers that we're facing now. I promise you, we're going to speak out against these bills. We're going to support law enforcement till the day we die. There's no reason that we should be passing laws to stop cooperating with law enforcement. Right. We should not have laws that put law enforcement, the men and women who protect us, in danger. Their families in danger, and that's what we're facing here. It's surreal. But we're going to make a great case on the floor. We all have our floor speeches. We're going to do the best we can to sound the alarm. And hopefully, the governor will think twice about signing these bills. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Thank you for fighting a good fight. Let's go out and increase our numbers. Thank you.
All right, the next two legislators are about the two most conservative ones in there. In fact, Eric makes me feel like a liberal sometimes. How many bills he voted no on? Eric Peterson, everybody.
Well, you know what? I'm impressed that you all came out here this morning in this weather. It shows how dedicated you are to our country, that you're patriots. This is about saving our country.
Yes, it is.
Because the Democrats want to import the third world and their third world mentality into our country because they can't win elections with first world mentality with Americans.
That's right. That's right.
Who thinks last year's governor race was really won by Mikey Sherrill? She might have got those votes, but how many of them were illegal aliens through the motor voter that this Democrats put through? You're importing them. This was a planned effort. Motor voter and then mass invasion from third world who they come and then they want free housing. They want free food. They want free medical care at the expense of the good, hard-working Americans in this country and in this state. And you know what? That's just wrong. When my ancestors came here, well, before there was a government, but when my ancestors came here, they didn't demand that the good people that were in this country take care of them. They came here to take care of themselves. That's right. Because that's a first world mentality. And we live in the first world, not in the third world. Send them back, right? Send them back. Send them back. Because I'm one pissed off American. This is my country. My ancestors did it great. Not yours. It's ours. We got to take it back because I've had enough. I'm pissed off! Are you pissed off? them know that you're pissed off and that you're going to stand up for Americans. Stand up for Americans. That's right. There's plenty of our neighbors who can't afford health care while some of the illegals getting it. There's plenty of our neighbors who need food, and you know what? Some illegals getting it.
Yeah.
There's kids whose sports are being taken away at school. Their education is being harmed because some illegal is there taking up their opportunities.
Yeah. Right.
If you're not willing to fight for your kids, if you're not willing to fight for your country, then what you will get is a third world country here.
It's
Stand up, fight, push back. What do I hear? Are you pissed? Yes! Are you going to come in and fight? Yes! Come on and join me. I'm tired of being alone. Thank you.
I don't think anybody wants to follow that up, but my best friend in the legislature is sure as hell going to try. He was the youngest mayor in Ocean County before I got elected in Point Pleasant Beach. And now he is one of the strongest conservatives out there. Check his CPAC score online, and that'll back things up quite a bit. Greg Meyer, everybody. Assemblyman Greg Meyer.
I normally don't worry about following up the speech, but I think that was the best speech I ever heard in Trenton. So I'm glad I brought my notes. But before we begin, Eric was fantastic, but let's give a big legal round of applause for Paul Kanitra from So we're all here because you recognize a fundamental truth. And that truth is that a country without borders will not be a country for very long.
Right.
For decades, Americans have been a tolerant and welcoming people. We've managed through cycles of immigration, legal and illegal. Right now, it's been a tsunami that our president has stopped.
Yes. Yay.
Now, for a long time, it used to be more of a localized issue, agricultural, maybe in big cities. But now, illegal immigration is all around us. Literally everywhere you go, you are likely to encounter an illegal immigrant. But those days are over. Today, it's a full-blown national crisis. Whether they overstayed a visa or they paid cartels to infiltrate our border, the reality remains the same, that they're all around us, all around the country, all around our state. And this is a direct result of a porous border and a total lack of interior enforcement. We've heard the lies before. They tell us that if we just grant amnesty, if we just legalize the millions that are already here, everything will be just fine. No, we have tried this. No, it is not fine.
No.
It has failed and has made the problem even worse.
Yes.
In 1986, the Simpson-Mazzoli Act promised the same thing. President Reagan signed it in what I believe is one of his biggest mistakes, that granted legal status to 3 million illegal aliens in exchange for enforcement that never came. What followed? What followed was the state of California, which was once reliably Republican, the Golden State, flipped to Democratic control, and it's been that way ever since.
Terrible.
And yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger was there, but that's a whole different story. But that is their playbook. It worked for them, and they've been replicating it around the country, and they've been replicating it here in New Jersey.
Good, how are you?
But for the first time in 40 years, the tide has turned. You have a president who was elected with a clear mandate to fix this disaster.
Yes.
He's listened to the people.
Yes.
He's delivering on his promises, and he's transformed ICE into the effective law enforcement agency it was always meant to be since 9/11. Right here in New Jersey, the radical left is fighting against the American people.
Awful.
In just a few hours, as you've heard, votes will be cast on 3 awful bills that are designed to tie the hands of ICE and to protect those who continue to break our laws. They want to expand the sanctuary state until the rule of law is nothing but a memory. And the irony is staggering. They expect us to believe every single law, or to follow every single law that they pass every state law, and in fact there's about 50 on the bill list today. It does matter. But immigration, that's optional. How can you demand respect for a state law when you do not respect the laws that our federal government passes?
Right.
So I ask you, if you want safer streets and a more secure community, we should send them home.
Yes.
Yes. If you want lower insurance rates, less congestion, and relief for our schools, send them home.
Yes.
If you want to restore the rule of law and ensure that American citizenship actually means something, what are we going to do? Send them home. If you want to live in an America that shares a common language, a common culture, and a common destiny, what are we going to do? Send them home. It's time to put citizens first. It's time to build a better, stronger, and legal America. Thank you. God bless New Jersey. God bless America.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going to move to some of the speakers who've joined us from across the state. We're going to start with Turning Point USA and Blake Shibashevsky.
Come on, we can make more noise than that. New Jersey, Eric, I'll follow you up on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Blake Shibashevsky. I'm 30 years old. I'm a state committeeman for a little organization called Turning Point Action New Jersey. And just like everyone else here, I'm raising my voice against Mikey Sherrill and the radical Democratic legislators who are trying to protect illegal immigrants in New Jersey, stop our police and law enforcement from doing their job, and turning our beautiful Garden State into a landfill by pushing it towards becoming a sanctuary state. For those of you who don't know me, I come from Belmar, Camden County, New Jersey. That might sound familiar to you because 6 years ago, a pair of gym owners in my town stood up during the COVID-19 lockdown, stared Governor Phil Murphy and his administration in the eyes and told him, "We will not bow down to your tyranny." They say history doesn't repeat, but it sure as hell does rhyme. And how poetic is it that a big bearded guy from Belmar is once again standing up to a Democratic governor and doing it all over again? But this time, it's different. You might ask how. I'll tell you. Last September, unfortunately, we lost one of the greatest young minds in modern American politics, our leader, Charlie Kirk. During that time, I had attended several vigils, and that's where I met an incredible, aspiring, beautiful, kind-hearted, and deeply committed to this movement, a woman named Heather Torno. Unfortunately, she cannot be here today to speak to all of you, which is why she sent me. So Heather, if you're watching this, we love you. Now back to the story. Heather was born and raised here in New Jersey. She wanted to carry on Charlie Kirk's legacy. As we talked, we realized something. New Jersey didn't have a Turning Point Action chapter, so we decided to change that. We built a Facebook group that grew over 20,000 members, people from all across the state who are still carrying Charlie's legacy forward every single day. It took a lot of noise, a lot of effort, and a lot of determination, but because of that, Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, and Turning Point Faith are here in New Jersey, and we are taking our state back. But make no mistake, the Democrats see it. They see our youth, the same people Charlie met one by one on college campuses, the same young people who once felt hopeless, who were pushed towards a Marxist ideology as a last resort, are waking up. They're realizing they were sold a bill of lies. And you see it in the numbers. In 2025, Jack Ciattarelli earned more votes than he did in 2021. But despite that momentum, we came up short. Why? Because illegal immigration is costing this state $7 billion, straining our systems and changing the playing field of American politics. And while Washington politicians like Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats play their games, New Jersey families are the ones paying the price. To put it simply, the Democrats
imported their voters into the state of New Jersey, gave them mail-in ballots, and they still wouldn't vote, so they starved them to get them to come out and vote, and that's why we have Mikey Sherrill.
That's exactly right.
Make no mistake, this isn't a blue wave, this is a Hail Mary. This is a last-ditch effort attempt to try to seize and gain power. All over New Jersey, they are losing more and more, even in blue counties like mine, because of the efforts of our Republican chairwoman, Kimberly Stewart. We are surely but slowly flipping Camden County red. At Turning Point, we will continue to carry our legacy forward as we fight for the young men and women aspiring to achieve the American dream. How about instead of spending $7 billion on illegals, we use that money to help our young Americans buy a home, form a family, have children, praise God, and love America. That might sound familiar, but this is exactly what Charlie wanted. He didn't want children staying with their parents until they're 40. He wanted these young men and women to shape the future of America, a prosperous America, a more affordable America, a more God-loving, family-oriented America.
Yes.
And I want to send a message out to our young men and women watching this right now. I want to make you a promise. As a state committeeman of Turning Point Action, I promise you that I, Heather Torno, Jarrett Branch, Brandon Molley, Paul Kanitra, Senator Testa, every Republican assemblyman and state senator in there, and the entire Turning Point community will fight like hell to restore the American dream in New Jersey. I got one more thing I want to say before I'm done.
Keep going.
People will tell me when I knock on their doors, one of the things we do at Turning Point Action, they say that's impossible, or it's too much work, or oh, that's not for me. Let me tell you a personal story a lot of people don't know about me. I stand here today with what feels like the weight of the world on my shoulders. In 2019, my father passed away from a severe heart attack. My only older brother, Jack, was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, paralyzed, and is bound to a wheelchair. My younger brother, a year younger than me, Jordan, was diagnosed with PDD, bipolar, and autism. My other brother, Dylan, also has severe autism. My mom is physically disabled, and at age 12, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. I was told I could never communicate properly. I was told I could never hold a job, drive a car, or meet a girl. The doctor told my family I was a genetic dead end. But I proved them wrong. I could hold a job. And not only can I hold a job, I've ran multiple successful political organizations. I can drive a car. I drive a Jeep Wrangler. Where are my Jeep drivers at? We here tonight? I met a girl, beautiful girl. She says I'm the greatest thing she's ever seen in her life. And as of today, right now, I'm communicating with each and every one of you on this podium. So please understand, when you tell me something is impossible, that doesn't apply to me. I've overcame every obstacle in my life. And I don't care what excuse you give me. You need to step up. You need to get out here. That's the only way we're going to change the state. Thank you so much. I hope I
All right, I saw a lot of you down in Wildwood a couple months ago when this guy organized a rally on a lot better day than today. The term patriots thrown around quite a bit, but I think the chairman, Mike Donahue from Cape May, embodies that. Can you guys give him a big round of applause?
Thank you all so much. First of all, thanks for being here. And thanks to Paul Kanitra for putting this together.
Yep.
It's a miserable day in Trenton. It's not just the weather.
Yes, right. That's right.
You know, there's two ways to become an American citizen: to be born here, and the Supreme Court will determine the parameters of that shortly, or to follow the process to become an American legally. You study hard, you work hard, you learn the culture, you learn the history, you take an oath to be a loyal American. Yes. And we support every single legal immigrant into this country. If you don't follow one of those two paths, you are not an American citizen. No. By definition, you are not. The first obligation of every American elected official is to support and protect American citizens. Those in control of this legislature and this governor intend to proceed today to try to create sanctuary for people who have broken the law. And not just turn us into a sanctuary state, but turn us into a magnet sanctuary state, drawing more and more illegal immigrants to New Jersey. It's as old as the Republic to say we are a nation of laws and not men. Today they want to turn that concept on its head. Every time they excuse a violation of the law by crossing the border, they dismantle the rule of law. Right. Every time they push a criminal out the revolving door and back into our neighborhood, they shred the rule of law. It's the rule of law that is the fabric of our society, that holds our society together, and they are tearing it apart. Today they seek not only to make us a sanctuary state, but to make our law enforcement criminals and make criminal illegal aliens heroes. Terrible. They have turned the Golden Dome of this state house into fool's gold. We need to ask them some questions. Governor, will you create sanctuary for the angel moms and those families who have lost their children in the most heinous crimes committed by illegal aliens? Yeah. Will you create sanctuary for the millions of unskilled American workers who can't get a job because illegal immigrants are willing to work in the shadows for next to nothing?
Ridiculous.
Will you create sanctuary for the tradesmen and women who are being displaced? Yes. Because fly-by-night outfits will use illegal immigrant labor at half the cost. Most of all, will you create sanctuary for the men and women of law enforcement who risk their lives every day, that you will, by these bills, turn into criminals if they talk to federal law enforcement? Of course you won't. That's what today is all about. New Jersey has been taken from its citizens. Yes. Socialist policies from here in Trenton are hurting every working man and woman in this state. They're stealing our schools. They're overburdening our welfare system. New Jersey is on the verge of becoming a failed state. And it's because of the policies that come out of this building behind us. Perhaps our efforts here today will succeed, perhaps not. But even if not, we must not stop. We must continue to fight every day for our families, for our schools, for our law enforcement community. Keep it up. I see a lot of familiar faces of a lot of great patriots here today. Keep it up. Don't give up. We need to save our great state of New Jersey. Yes. I almost forgot, ladies and gentlemen, I have the great honor this morning of inviting to the podium another great patriot, a man who I've known for many years. My first campaign, he was on the campaign bus. He runs the conservative voice of record in New Jersey, Save Jersey. You all know him. He's a great man. Thank God he's here today, Matt Rooney.
Well, let me tell you this. This is my observation of the rally so far. By the way, how's everyone doing today? Yeah. I mean, you're in Trenton, not Fort Lauderdale. That's great. Not sure what that says about us, but I've observed this. If we had in the legislature 120 Paul Kanitras, we wouldn't even need to stand active. That's right. If we had 120 Eric Petersons, who was up here yelling before, we'd be Texans. And it'd be warm right now. I'm gonna keep it simple, because I all know we want to get inside and remind our friends how excited we are about their legislative agenda today. And we all have an opinion about it. Politics, we talk about issues, we talk about personalities, we talk about biographies. It comes down to one thing: priorities. What are your priorities? What are the priorities of the crooks and socialists and sponges who currently control the legislature and the building behind me? Now, your priority is your home, the United States of America, the great state of New Jersey. You want your kids to be able to go away on spring break and not have to worry about them being human trafficked or trying a drug. And it's innocent enough, but they don't realize the fatal consequences it can have. You want to keep your hard-earned money. You don't want to spend $7.3 billion on people that wanted the easy way, not the American way.
That's right.
I don't think that's all that controversial, and that's why you're here freezing your rear ends off. Now, and I want you to be loud because I want them to hear you in there. Some of them are a little hard of hearing. You can tell by how they vote. Their priorities, do you think that they're you? Do you think that they share your priorities?
No.
These are their priorities,
Yeah.
right? They are currently creating 3-4 hour lines at airports all across this country to enrich the American people, protect the American people, to help us fulfill the American dream. No, so that Donald Trump can't deport pedophiles and criminals and some of the worst scum on this blue marble, the earth that we all occupy.
Yeah.
Does that make a damn bit of sense to you?
No.
It's very simple. They're politicians. They speak outside both sides of their mouths, present company excluded, right? But at the end of the day, keep it simple. It's the P word. It's priorities. The priorities of Speaker Coughlin and Scutari and the rest of the leftists in this building, they're not yours. They're fighting for them, right? Paul Kanitra and Eric and Assemblyman Meyer and the other speakers today, they're fighting for you. They wake up every day because who the hell would want to come here, right? Unless they had to. It's a mission for them. It's a mission to try to help New Jersey fulfill its greatness. This is a wonderful state. We've got beaches. We've got 2 major cities that when they're not run by socialists, they're decent places to visit. You can go to a much warmer place for spring break. Down south, they have palm trees, but the pizza tastes like ketchup on a cracker. We want to stay in New Jersey, right? Yeah. So what is it that you want to tell the legislators who are about ready to gather in this building and make us formally a sanctuary state? Do you think that's a good idea? No! Are you going to, and I'm channeling my friend Scott Pressler here, you're going to peacefully, but you are going to forcefully tell them that you're not standing for it, right?
Right.
Is this their state?
No.
This is our state. This is the great state of New Jersey. We are going to make it great again, and you folks are the tip of the spear. God bless you.
We must.
God bless this country, and God bless the United States of America. Keep fighting. All right, we're down to the last 2 speakers, and we're going to take this seal off, and there might be a couple other people that jump up here afterwards. But last 2 perspectives are important ones. We have John Rentia here from the New Jersey College Republican, and he's going to give a little bit of a younger slant on this situation. John, come on up here.
Hello, good morning, everyone. It is an honor to be here today. Oh, my bad.
Whoa, don't worry. I got you.
My name is John Rentia, and I have the pleasure of serving as the chairman of the New Jersey College Republicans. Now, as I say this, I notice a lot of shocked faces in the crowd. A lot of you probably think the term college Republican is an oxymoron. Something along the lines of jumbo shrimp, or as Mike Control would put it, government efficiency. We're nonetheless staying with you all as the illegal immigration crisis affects us all and eats away from each of us attaining the American dream. For us college students, the current crisis, brought about the continued spread of illegal immigration and the failed sanctuary policies of Governor Murphy and Governor Sherrill, have taken away from our safety, has impacted our pursuits of scholarship and financial aid, and has most egregiously diminished our job opportunities. As recently as May of 2025, recent college graduates with a bachelor's degree face unemployment rates of over 15% across their first year out of college. For the record, this number is roughly double the national unemployment rate that we saw throughout Obama's recession. Meanwhile, the conservative numbers show illegal immigrants taking up nearly 450,000 confirmed jobs in New Jersey alone, with the illegal population only facing a roughly 5% unemployment rate. Now, if any of our great Democratic legislators in this building behind me can explain why those of us who play the game by the rules have been neglected, why those of us who have taken out loans, taken the time to study, and have sought out competitive internships have been turned away, and why those people who do not follow our laws, who do not follow the process in place, are being rewarded in a system that should prioritize those who play the game correctly, then I will gladly turn away. Until then, though, I urge each and every Trenton legislator to say no to the following bills. Say no to A4070. Say no to A4071. And say no to A1743. With that, thank you, Assemblyman, and God bless you all, and God bless these great United States of America.
We gotta give Paul a coat. He needs a jacket.
We're winging it. We're winging it. All right, I need you guys to get your energy up just a little bit more for one final speaker. I know all of you are on social media. I think like 80% of the state is on social media. And this guy is making a real difference because he's giving a voice to the average person. Average person's just working, trying to put food on the table. They don't even know what an assemblyman or an assemblywoman is. They don't have the time to pay attention to all the craziness that's coming out of Trenton right here. But this guy, who's out there working on construction sites on a regular daily basis, found enough time to dig into these bills in really one of the most substantive ways that I've seen in decades in New Jersey. And he put bills in common sense ways. He presents things, he looks into things deeply, he investigates and digs into why things are wrong. And that's why I want him to close things out and speak to you guys today. Can you give a big round of applause, get your energy up, for my friend Mike Curry from Wake Up Engine.
How's everybody doing today? Can you hear me? Good afternoon, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Michael from Wake Up, New Jersey. I'm a father of 3 boys and just a regular guy sick of the nonsense going on in this state. Part of why this handle was started was a serious lack of information combating the liberal media here. Felt that it was important not only to share things that was going on in the state, but also how you can push back in this state. Something I often put out there is these insane bills Democrats keep pushing out, like raising your gas taxes, hiding hidden costs of your electrical bills, banning bird feeders, allowing highly inappropriate books in your children's schools, while also protecting those who allow it. Now Trenton Democrats' next big push is against ICE and protecting the nearly 900,000 illegals they allowed in by any means necessary, while also demonizing ICE at every turn. Because this mass immigration illegal push, citizens of our state have been hurt and even killed. I share often the reason I support ICE is for Maria, that person right there, killed by an illegal immigrant, and her daughter, Denaria, 11 years old, who had 3 previous DUIs, and was let out to drive in the state and killed them. Still upsets me every day I look at their faces. How about the illegal from Mexico who threw a rock at a window of a bus from a girl on a Jersey turnpike, fracturing her skull? She was 8 years old, yet no business being in our state. Democrats keep protecting these people. They have not even acknowledged their existence here. Yet they'll say things like F ICE and no kings. It's really telling that installed Governor Mickey Sherrill pushed for a portal to rat against ICE, but couldn't give a damn about reporting illegals that have hurt and killed our citizens.
Awful.
I have a couple of questions for you people of New Jersey today. Do you, the people of New Jersey, want to pay over $7 billion of your hard-earned dollars for those that shouldn't be here? Do you, the people, want to see our voter rolls cleaned, making sure illegals aren't voting in our elections? Do you, the people of New Jersey, want to see illegals stop getting driver's licenses? Do you, the people, want New Jersey to stop being a sanctuary state? What I want each and every one of you to do is speak up. The other side wants to control the narrative here in the state and silence you. You can be the difference, each and every one of you, and change things here for the better. Let's start working at building up our base, our groups, our communities, offline and on. keep informing, keep inspiring, always stand your ground, never back down, never give up, and let's keep breaking up New Jersey together. Thank you, everybody.
All right, everybody, that's it. Thank you so much. Listen, there may be a couple other people jump up, but the official part of this rally is remember, the vote starts at 1 p.m. As many of you that can come in there and see what actually goes on. We're going to try and ask some of the sponsors of these bills. Will you take a question? Watch how many of them say no and don't even know what's in their bill. We're going to stand up and we're going to make the point. I want you to come in there. You got to go around to the little building over there to the right, go through security, and make sure you get your seats to see how this show works from the inside. Thank you so much for coming out today.